and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make little books like these. These are made using A7 cards and I have used some from Janie's Originals. These ones are Vintage Blooms. These are from Cabinet Cards selection, and there are others. For the demo for this one, I'm going to use these. Is from the Entomology collection, or the Entomologist, I think. So yeah, so you can use any of the A7 cards. I'm going to use them on the inside and the out. But if you want to sort of save them just for the outside covers, you could cut pieces of card to the right size for the inside as well. That would save them for the outside then. So I'm going to use tape. Now this is more of a construction tape. It's not a paper. I mean it is rippable. I'm going to cut a piece because I don't want a ragged end, but this one is rippable. So it's more of a what you might consider a paper type tape. It is very sticky because it's a construction one. This is, I have no idea what this is from. This is from the garage. My husband produced when I asked if he had any tape. So and this is a fabric one. Okay, so I've used the fabric one on here. I've used this one on here. And I'm going to show you how to do both those size spines, plus also a smaller size spine with this one. Okay, so I've got a mixture of spine templates here from Janie's Originals. For this one, with the 5 holes, the 5 signatures, I've used this spine template, which comes from the A6 book template, from the A6 and A7 book template collection. So it's a 2.5 centimeter wide spine. For this one, this is from the A6 and A5 spine template collection. And that's 2 centimeters wide, and that's got 4 signatures. But I'm also going to show you this one with this is also from the same A6 and A5 spine template collection, and this is the 1 centimeter one. Okay, so we'll just see how you put them together, put the covers together, and then I'll show you briefly how to decide on the holes and piercing the holes. So we're going to start with showing you this one, and this one I will actually stick the covers on, and then we'll go from there. So right, so you need to cut a piece of tape is just a bit longer than your well, so what I haven't told you, I've cut a piece of card the same width as the spine template and then the same height as the card. Okay, so that's what you want, the same width as your spine template, whichever one you're using, and the same height as the card. Again, whatever you're using, you can make these with bigger cards. So I've cut a piece of tape. This is very sticky, and this is probably way longer than I need. And I'm just going to put this down onto my card, and then I'm going to just fold it onto its edge, just over, so that tape starts to stick, so that I know that that's nice and flush up with the edge of the card. And again, I'm going to do the same. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off. Okay, as flush as you can with the end of the piece of card. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of the tape. Again, it needs to be just a bit longer than the actual spine. Now I'm going to put this face down, and I'm going to try, it doesn't matter if you're not completely exact, but I'm going to try to eyeball it as much as I can to get it in the center. Okay, now the next, the 2 pieces of card I'm going to put down now are going to be on the inside. Now I quite like this one that says Field Notes. That's going to be on my front cover, and I think I quite like that coloured one to be the back cover, so we'll keep those. And so this is where you could, if you wanted to just use ordinary card, you could do that. So I'm going to put this in line with this spine, but just a little bit out from it, okay? Just a little bit out to give us a little bit of a hinge, okay? And then same on this side. Just need to leave a very small gap between for the hinge. Okay. So, okay. Now, this is going to be the outer spine, but the problem with this, with having our little hinge, we get, if I was to leave it like that, you get this little sticky bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of tape, and I'm going to hopefully cut it long enough. And then I'm going to lay it over the top of this one. Okay. Now, if you want, you could. And actually, I think I might. Do you know what I think I might do? Is just to trim this off. Okay. Whoops. Oh, I get myself all stuck up now. There we go. Leave it there. That's it. Right. So let's just trim this off. I would suggest making sure you've got not too much stick on your scissors, because it will be, as I'm finding it, a little bit trickier to cut when you've got a bit of stick on them. It's, you know, it's like, so just try and make sure you do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bit, this is going to be the spine, but it's not going to show. So if it's not straight, it's not a big deal. But what you do want to do is just run your finger into those little areas here, and then you know that that's stuck and you're not going to get any sticky bits. All right, so that's the inside, and again I'm then going to trim the end of my spine. Yeah, my scissors are just so stuck up. I do need to clean them. So I now have the inside of my book. Just going to make sure these are stuck down. Okay, and I have a nice area here for my spine. And if you just sort of pinch the ends, because it is sticky right to the end, just to make sure everything is stuck down. And then what I'm going to do, this is going to be my front cover. So I'm going to stick this one here. Okay, and I'm just going to use the paper bindery glue. Like so. I'll make sure it's lined up nicely. I'm going to pick it up and look at it before it dries, so that, whoops, I can get that stuck on. There we go. So that's my front cover. Oops, so I've got a little bit of glue there. And then this one will be my back cover. Whoops, like so. Okay. There we go. There. So I'm going to leave that just to dry for a minute before we I'll show you how to punch to pierce the holes for binding, and just show you how we would do it with the smaller tape. So this tape is 5 centimeters wide, and I used a this is the 2.5 centimeter spine template. It comes with the A6 and A7 book template set. This one it's 2 centimeters, and I could do a similar one with this for with this tape. Don't think I would go much smaller because you'll start to get too much of an overlap with this wider tape. So this is the 2 centimeter spine template from the A5 and A6 spine template pack, and this tape is 2.5 centimeters wide. So I'm going to start in exactly the same way, and this down. This one seems to be much more sticky, or sticky in a different way. Can't really explain. So all I'm trying to do again is to get that on, so that I've got a little bit to wind over or bend over, if you like, and then same on that side. Okay, and then I'm going to again trim that off like so. Now, as you could see, there wasn't much kind of room either side of this, so just need to be aware that we can't just put one piece of tape over like we did last time. So I'm just going to use my ruler, and we know that this is 2 centimeters, so I just want to mark this just to give me a very rough guide of where the middle is. Okay, so I've got lines, a little line either end, and what I'm then going to do is I'm going to take my first piece of tape and line it up with those marks. Okay, so I'm just going to line them up with those marks, so I know that's pretty much halfway. Try not to stick it to your board. Okay, and then excuse me, I need a second piece. Oh, okay. As you can see, that what's happened there is oh, you can't see, sorry. What has happened is my tape has ripped because it's a paper tape. So I'm just going to have to take that off. Unfortunately, that is wasted for the minute. Pull another piece off. And place this one. And I would just slightly overlap. Okay, just slightly overlap it. Okay, now, again, what you want to do is now I can see I've not got that straight and that's not quite overlapped, but you would get the idea. I'm just going to cut along there. And along there. And like before then, in fact, you might want to stick your pieces on before. You would stick your inside covers to this. Yeah. And then cover, let's do it. Let's blow caution to the wind and let's do it. Let me grab a couple of cards. I won't do the inside. Let's grab a couple of the lovely ladies from here. Oops. So you would put this one down here again. Remember to leave just a slight gap for your hinge. So that one's there, and then just making sure I've got my right way, so at least I can make something out of it later. And another one there. Now again, you've got the sticky bit. It's up to you at this point, because obviously this is going to be the outside of the spine. Whether you try and do it in one piece, which you can just about if you're careful, or whether you do it in two. I would prefer to do it in one because I'd like my outside spine to be one piece. So I've just got it over that. I'm just going to run and find there we go. Just going to run my finger along there and then make sure that's pushed. Remember, this won't be, if it's not quite even, sorry if I moved that too far away. If it's not quite even, it's not really going to show because you would put, I'm not going to put the outside cover on. But that's how that one will work. You would then stick your two outside covers, and then you would have your book put out the right way. So you would have your two outside covers there. Okay, I'm not going to keep doing that to keep using my cards. The last one then is, you know, that you with the smaller tape, you can use a smaller spine template, and then it would work in just the same way as the big one did before, because you've got enough overlap. So you would stick a piece of card, remember same width as the template, same height as the card. As you can see, this just ends up being like the first one I did, and you can wiggle it around. You can find the end there, and the end there. Now this is the overlap bit. So it's the overlap bit that you would put onto the next piece of tape. Ooh, yeah. Done that long enough. So you put this piece face down onto there, and then you can see you've got the sticky bits to stick the inside in, and then you would cover the inside. You stick the inside cards on, and then you put another piece of this over the top. Okay, just like we did on that one. Okay, so that's how that would work. And like I say, you know, it depends on the width of your tape as to, you know, how wide a spine template you could use. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to this one that I started earlier to show you the next stage. So obviously this A6 spine template is too big. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of just trying to, it's not going to be exact, you know, you've kind of got to accept it isn't going to be completely exact. However, I can maneuver this template to the point where this set of holes is only just touching this end there, and this set of holes is kind of just touching there. So that's kind of the end of my book. Yeah. So I'm marking that because it will help me in a minute when I'm doing my thing for my signatures. So it depends on what you want to do. If you want to do a 3-hole bind, let's see what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Oh, hello. All right, so if we were to do 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, the way I've got it, I don't have a central one. So what we can do is rub those out. That's not going to work for me because of how I want to do this. So again, now I've done is I've wiggled it around so that this and this, so you can see it's roughly the same distance from there to there. You know, you're not going to get it 100. Well, you could get it 100% accurate if you want to measure it. I don't particularly. So this hole is too near the end. So this set of holes I would use. This set of holes I would use, and then I've got a middle here, and then I would be able to do a 3-hole pamphlet. I could do this one, this one, this one, and this one, and do a long stitch. It's entirely up to you, but we'll go with a 3-hole pamphlet. So that's how I would use this template. I would fiddle around until I'm happy with where it is, and if I want to do something like a 3-hole pamphlet, I need to make sure I've got a central line of holes. Okay, now a couple of things now. before I use this to do this, I'm going to make myself a little template. So I've got a piece of paper. Right, I'm not showing that very well. Let's move that away. So I've got a piece of paper the same height as my signatures. Okay, so it's the same height as my signatures. And then what I'm doing is I'm lining that up. If I turn that round, it's probably easier. I'm lining that up. Now, you can see it's just shorter than those, but I'm trying to make sure it's central. Okay. But I know that's where the end of the spine is, so as long as my signatures are in there, and then I'm going to mark that hole, and that hole. Yeah. And then what I do is I open it out, move those along, and then we're going to fold it that way. And in a minute, I'll show you how to use that to pierce your does signatures. Right, now what I need is a little bit of low tack tape. I'm going to line up these again, make sure. I'm just going to put the tape in between those. Do not use your tape unless you're absolutely 100% sure it's going to be low tack and not take the surface off of any paper or card. I know that what I use is very low tack. So what I've done is I put that on. Now I wouldn't use a screw punch on this because there's kind of in some places 3 layers of this sticky tape, and it is sticky. And you will need to clean your awl after you've done it because it does get sticky, and I wouldn't want to do that onto my in my screw punch. So for this type, I would use the awl, and all I'm doing is I'm putting my awl in each hole. So my hand goes above the top because I need to go vertical through like so. Okay. You can almost see me having to pull it back out because, and I'm going to show you in a moment as well because I have a bit, see there's a bit of, gets very sticky, very gunky. Okay. Now what I'm piercing into literally is, what have I got? 6 layers, and this is just the flaps off of a box. And this is what I always use when I'm piercing vertically like this into a spine with my awl. Okay, so we'll do the rest of them. It's really quite straightforward. And then these. And there you go. Okay, so my spine is now pierced. Ready. Oops. Take that off. You can see my tape just doesn't take anything off with it. So we can put that to the side now. So we're done with it. The only other thing you would then do is take your signatures, and you can use this if you want, but I prefer to use a piercing cradle because it allows you to get all your papers in a nice V shape so that the holes you pierce go straight through. So I'm using this that I made earlier. I'm just going down through that one, down through that one, and down through that one. So I'm going vertically in. I'll show you one more time. Okay. So down through, whoops, taking that with me. It's because my awl is sticky because I didn't clean it. Sticking to the paper. Okay, so that's how I would do all my signatures. So I won't do all of this on camera because you don't need to see me stick 5 signatures in. You've seen me do this on other videos. So I have my needle. I'm going to use that one. And I have my thread already waxed. And I have needle threader because I have troubles with the needles at times. So I'm just putting the needle threader through. Can you see that? You probably can't. There you go. There's the needle threader through. Stick it through and then pull, and then I'm threaded. Okay, so I'm threaded there. Okay. And then I'm going through this hole, and I'm starting at the back through that hole on the back set of 3. Pull that through. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of this tape to hold that in place. Okay, so I don't pull it right through. And then I'm going to go to this end, and you know, if you need to turn it to see the holes, if you need to look inside, it's absolutely fine. Whatever you need to do to make this work for you, do it, because yes, there are best, if you like, best practices where you'll get the finest results, but actually I'm not interested particularly in that. I just want a nice result, and I want something that I can physically achieve. So what I did is I came up through that hole to the middle, all the way to the other end, and now what I need to do is come back through this hole. So actually what I want to do with this bit of tape is to bring that away, so it's pulling down, in the hope that when I put my needle back through this middle one and come back through here, you can see I have avoided splitting that piece of thread. So what I did there was to make sure I've got one piece of the one end on one side of this central bit, one on the other, and then just give it a kind of a pull that way. So you pull in the direction that your stitches are. Okay, take my needle out because I don't really want to be sorting myself out there, and we're just going to tie this off just like that. And then for me, I just tend to cut there and there. Okay, so that's my first signature sewn in to my book, and I have just realized I have sewn it in the wrong way. Right, no problem. You see what I've done? This is my outside, so I've sewn my signature on the outside. No problem. Let's just snip that off. It's not a big deal. If you can undo your knot, all well and good. I'm not going to. I just know it will take me longer than I need to. So I'm just going to pull this out, and we're going to do that again. So I will get to show you one more time. We're going on the inside this time. Right, let's get another piece of thread. What a donut. So that is something to watch. Making sure you're sewing it on the right side. Okay, let's get my needle threader back through the eye of my needle, stick, there we go, nice and through, like so. Right, so we're on the inside, same as before, through the middle to the middle hole there, and through, and we're going to piece of tape back and tape that down. So we went out through the middle hole, and then we're going in through the end hole here and back in there, and then out through this one. Okay, like so. And now we're going to make sure that we are pulling this piece to the side. Oh, We're just going to give that a yank because I can see I've lost my tension there. That's okay. Right, so we're hopefully coming back through here. All worked really well last time. I'm not convinced it's going to this time because it never does. I can already see I don't have this pulled tight enough. So it's giving me a bit of a loop on the inside, which is why I am then struggling to get this back through without without look on the inside. So let's go through there. Yeah, I can feel that I'm going through that. So what I've done with my finger is just pulled that to the side, and then I'm just going to push that through. Okay. So whatever it takes to make sure that you're not splitting the thread is what you need to do. And then we just pull that like before, it gets nice and tight, and then we tie it off. And this time, yay, it's actually on the inside of my my book. Okay, so I will continue sewing these in, and then at the end, well, basically what you'll see is once I finish this little bit of the video, it'll go straight into the pictures of this finished. Okay, so that's and pictures of these as well. All right, so I will finish this off in exactly the same way, but hopefully you can see that you can use any of the A7 cards from Janie's collections, a bit of tape and spine templates to make some lovely little tiny notebooks. Or not tiny, but you know, little A7 useful size notebooks. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Keep watching because you'll see the finished result in the pictures that come after this. But thank you for joining me. I will list all the things I've used in the description underneath if you would like to see what I've been talking about. Thank you very much.